How do you not know who Donna Summer is? I mean, it's Donna freaking Summer. Hey campers, it's Jacqueline Frost and welcome back to Camp Frosty. If this is your first show, thanks for joining us, and I hope it's not your last. If this isn't your first show, thanks for coming back. On today's episode, we're going to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 13, Episode 6. Now, the last episode, we had a confrontation between Tamisha Iman and Candy Muse. The whole internet blew up about it because everybody pretty much had the same reaction, that Candy's gotta go. But as I discovered from the spoilers, that's not gonna happen anytime soon. So this week we resume in the workroom and tensions are a little high. By the following day in the workroom, everything was kind of back to where it was before the blow up. The main challenge this week was disco. Yeah, I shouldn't do that. And the runway was Little Black Dress. Now, after watching the disco challenge and the runway, I pretty much knew who was going to be in the bottom, and I think everyone else did too. It was no shock that Candy ended up in the bottom, and she knew it. If you watch this episode's Untucked, you know she was a whole lot quieter than she was in the last episode of Untucked. Because she knew she messed up. She knew she was in the bottom. She knew she was lip syncing. However, looking at the other two that were in the bottom, Tamisha Iman and Utica Queen should have been in the bottom too and lip syncing with Candy. Because if you look at the disco challenge and the Little Black Dress runway, Tamisha was far superior. Utica is a very creative queen. I have loved what she's brought to the runway so far. This week's was a little Once she explained that she was on the runway as her earring, then I was like, oh, okay. Creative, right? Well, if you have to explain the look, not so much. But Tamisha, class, all the way. But in RuPaul's Drag Race, true to form fashion, the bottom two this week was Candy Muse and Tamisha Iman. Now, if you watch the lip sync, you'll know Candy struggled. There was times where she didn't know the lyrics. She was just kind of like all over the place, very manic in her performance. Tamisha brought a level of class and charisma and old school drag to the stage. It was so much fun watching her lip sync because this queen is a legend. And the House of Iman is better for it. But of course, it did not go the way everyone wanted it to. When they announced that Candy Muse was safe, the look on the faces of the queens behind them was like, because they know. Now let's talk about something a lot more positive than just Candy Muse. Can we just say how fantastic Olivia Lux is? I'm rooting for her this season. I hope Olivia takes the crown. She was underestimated at the start of the show, and I think she's still being underestimated. And she's served up looks. She's served up talent. Watching her in that disco challenge was so much fun. It was a pleasure. I'm like, this is performance, because she enjoyed herself. She was delivering, and I love Olivia Lux. I am so glad that we have a young queen on the show that actually knows what she's doing. To hear her story, her struggle with her weight, her struggle with being bullied, and then finding theater and finding drag and just having all that creativity to fall back on and really find herself. I thought it was fantastic, and I am so glad. I really am Team Olivia this season. I hope that Olivia does win. Another queen that is doing really well is Simone. I loved her throwback to RuPaul's Back to My Roots video with her hair. It was fantastic. I think she is going to make top 3. And Ellie with 2 T's, I was in the beginning kind of like, I don't know. But the looks, I liked the little black dress this week. And I liked the looks that Elliot gave last week too. So Elliot's growing on me. I'm seeing where the talent is. Until next week's episode, this has been Camp Frosty. Thanks for watching. Hey, thanks for watching Camp Frosty. Make sure to like and subscribe and ring that notification bell.